Sometimes a movie is just better than it has any right to be. That is the case with the movie Big Miracle, which I got a chance to see recently. When I saw the preview to Big Miracle, I thought this movie is going to be one big bowl of cheese, just one big schmaltzy helping of Save the Whales. And I got a little more than I bargained for. I actually somewhat enjoyed this movie. Now, take my lowered expectations for part of that, but I gotta tell you, I think Big Miracle is an interesting and fun movie to watch, especially with the whole family. It stars John Krasinski, is that how you say his name? Who's Jim from The Office. Drew Barrymore is in there as well as several other actors you probably know. And they tell the story, the true story of a mid-80s I guess, effort to save some whales in Alaska who had gotten trapped behind the ice. And it's a pretty compelling story. Now, there are a couple things this movie has going for it that I think add to it. Number one is that it's a true story. I always am a sucker for a true story. Just to know that this really happened is, is something that really gets me engaged. I don't know. There's just something about knowing that I could look it up on Wikipedia and see the actual people and see them in the credits, actually. I love it when they do that in True Stories, too, and they do that in Big Miracle. They show some of the real people in the credits that the people portrayed in the movie, which I think is fun. Also, the characters are just likable. They're just flat out likable. John Krasinski is a likable guy, and in this movie, he just shines. Drew Barrymore the same, and all the people around them. They're just likable characters, and you enjoy spending time with them, and there's something to be said for that. They also do a great job on dialing back that cheese factor. It could have very easily been preachy or cheesy, and I think it avoids both of those fairly well. It doesn't get overly environmentalistically preachy. It hits that note a few times. I'm not saying it's not in there, that message is in there for sure, but I think in a very valid and non-hit you over the head with it kind of way. And not only that, but it gives both sides. And I think at the end of the day, that's why I come away really enjoying this movie more than any right it had to be enjoyed, because all the characters in this movie are human beings. They feel like real rounded people. They don't feel like caricatures. The Big Oil person, the person who runs Big Oil, feels like a real human being. He has a soft side, even though he's, set up as possibly to be the villain. You see his heart, you see those moments, and the person who, Drew Barrymore's character is the environmentalist, and yet at the same time, you see the other side of her and her struggles and her tendency to be a little hit you over the head preachy, is called into question. And I like that. I like that all the characters are well-rounded, and I think that gives it a big leg up. So surprisingly enough, I actually kind of liked Big Miracle. I didn't love it, but I kind of liked it, and I think you might too.